In this video, we'll be hunting a box of pennies, as well as seeing if we can make any additions or upgrades to the Hunt and Fill series. We'll of course be looking for any wheat scents from 1958 or older. We'll also be looking for any foreigns, proofs, air reserve varieties, or any other cool things we can find. I do, unfortunately, only have one box right now because the other box I picked up was uncirculated, but hopefully I'll be able to replace it with a circulated box so we can have another box onto this video. Hopefully we can get some good finds, so let's start the hunt, and I'll bring you in whenever we have our first find. That was pretty quick, just opened the first roll, and we already have the first find. It is going to be a Canadian scent, just a couple coins in, and it is a 1971. Roll 5, just uncovered the first wheat scent of the hunt. It is one we already have for the album, but I'll still take it, and it is a 1941 out of Philly. Roll 15, finally have another find, and it is going to be the second wheat scent of the box, and it is 1945 from San Francisco. I do know we need a lot of San Francisco mints, but we do already have the 45S. Still, that's a great find. Roll 19, and we have the third wheat scent of the box at the start of the roll, and it is a 1953 from Denver. Roll 25, halfway point of the box, just open the roll, and we have another wheat scent right in the back of the roll. This will make wheat scent number 4 for the box, and it is a 1956 Denver. Same roll, just uncovered another wheat scent for wheat scent 5 for the box, and it is a 1957 out of Denver. Just opened roll 28, and I see the edge of wheat scent number 6 of the box right here. And this one is a 1944 San Francisco, and we do need that one for the album. I think that'll be the first album edition of this episode, which is awesome. Roll 36, and I just uncovered a foreign I don't think I've ever gotten in a penny roll before. Might have gotten one or two in customer wrapped in the past, but I don't think I've ever gotten one from a box. We have a €2 scent right here, and it is, I'm pretty sure that is the Irish design, and it's from 2013. That's a pretty cool find. Definitely never see these too often. Roll 40, just uncovered another wheat scent. It is just another one from the 50s, just another 1956 Denver, but it is wheat scent number 7 for the box. Roll 41, and we're going to have a couple of wheat scents in this roll because I just uncovered one, and I see another date in the back. One I just uncovered is 1946 out of Philly, and one in the back of the roll. I can already see the date. And it is a 1953 Denver. Those are wheat scents number 8 and 9 for the box. Still on the same roll, and I just uncovered the third wheat scent of roll 41, which is awesome. And this is wheat scent number 10 for the box, so we do have double digits. And it is a 1944 Philly. Just opened roll 46, and we're finally going to have the second Canadian scent of the box. Odd that we haven't been getting too many in this box, but it's okay, they're just Canadian scents. Oh, and this one is a 1951, which means it's a King George VI. Don't get these too often, and that is a great find. Penny box has been hunted, and it was a pretty good box. We ended up with 10 wheat scents, which is about how much I like to get per box, and we did have one addition, which was that 1944S, which is awesome to add to the album. And then foreigns, we had one that we don't really get too often other than a Canadian, a €2 scent, which is awesome, and only 2 Canadians, which is odd. I usually get about the same amount of Canadians as wheat scents in my boxes, but at least one of the Canadians was a 1951 King George, which was an awesome find. I'll be back when I have another box to hunt to add onto this video, and hopefully it'll be a good box. Alright, I'm back, and I was able to get another box of circulated pennies to hunt. It doesn't have any enders, but we do have a second box to hunt for this video, which is great. So, I'll bring you in when we have a find. Just opened roll 5, and we're going to have the first find for box 2, and it's just going to be a Canadian scent, which is right here, and it is a 1982. Just opened roll 14, and we're finally going to have the first wheat scent for box 2. All we've gotten so far is a Canadian, but as you can see, we finally have our first wheat scent. Hopefully the box can heat up and we can get some more wheat scents. But this wheat scent is a 1940 San Francisco, and we do already have this one in the album, but it's a great wheat scent to see. Roll 16, just a few coins into the roll, just uncovered wheat scent number 2 for box 2, and it is a 1956 Denver. Roll 22, just uncovered, another wheat scent, and this will be the third one for the second box. It's pretty corroded, but it is a 1944 out of Philly. Just open the next roll, and we have yet another wheat scent for the second box, and this will be number 4 for this box, right here. And this one is a 1945 Denver. Roll 29, and we finally have the second Canadian for box number 2. Fourth Canadian of the overall hunt only. Again, this is another box that's really slow on the foreigns, but this Canadian is in 1991. Roll 30, and we have wheat scent number 5 for box number 2. Just uncovered it, and it is 1944, minted in Denver. Roll 45, and we finally have another find. It's been a while since our last find, but the roll did kind of open pretty bad on me, but we do have another Canadian scent right here. And this one is pretty nice, 1977. Penny box has been hunted, so let's go over the finds. We ended up with 15 1959s, 22 estimates, and 29 2009s. We only got 5 Canadian cents in those 2 boxes, which is way less than I usually get, but one of them was a 1951 King George, which was an awesome find. And we did get one other foreign, which was this €2 cent with the Ireland design from 2013, which is an awesome find. We also did get one 1960D small date. And then wheat cents, we ended up with 15 for the 2 boxes, which is a little lighter than I like to get, but still not too bad. I'm pretty sure we did have one edition, even though they're all in the 40s and 50s, which is great. It is harder to make editions the more we go on with the series, but I'm glad we're still getting at least one per episode. And then copper, we did amazing for the 2 boxes. That second box had a lot of copper. We filled the copper jar to the brim pretty much. First box was pretty average, but the second box had a ton of copper, so that's great. So I'll put any additions and upgrades into the Hunt and Fill album, and I'll bring you back with an album update. Just finished putting everything in the album, and here's how it looks after this episode. I was right, we did have one addition, which was the 1944S. And now for the 40s and 50s, we just need one Denver besides the Steels, which is the 1942 Denver. Besides that, we have all the Denvers in the 40s and 50s. And then the other ones we need are just Phillies and S's, which are harder to get in my area. And then for Memorial Scents, all full, all pretty much uncirculated besides a few of the 60s. And the only one we need besides these 2 rare varieties is the 1962 Philly, which I have been looking for. And then pre-40s, obviously a lot harder to get, but we have been doing pretty good with the pre-40s so far for the series. And it is becoming harder and harder to get additions for the album, but we have not had an episode yet with no additions, so I'm hoping that can continue. And overall, this was a pretty successful Penny Hunt and Fill episode.